Welcome to this week's edition of Chaile Time. Tsepo, haven't you seen me in a while? How are you doing?
I'm good than you, Toby.
No, busy. So tell me what happened this week in your life.
Actually, this week I had like few cases, but I'm gonna touch on like two of them. I had actually an employee who is working as a driver for a certain company there in Cape Town. Hey, he's harassing his fellow colleagues.
Yeah?
If he doesn't like you, he will just take a wrong route where there's potholes and stuff, and he will drive rough so that
If he doesn't like his fellow colleague, the fellow driver, or your employer.
the colleagues, he's a driver.
So it's like politics among each
There's
other.
politics amongst each other, but he's the politic by the look of things, because now there were 5 witnesses testifying against him, and then they all saying the same thing, and then that if he's not in a good mood with you today, he will make sure that he makes your life a living hell. Sometimes he will threaten to leave you when they went on site. But, well, I haven't made a conclusion on that one. Today, just now,
but I just want to comment on that one.
Yes,
quickly.
yes.
It's for me interesting how the human species, I'm always baffled by who we are as humans. You will employ a person, you will come and dress so fancy and have an interview, and you give the person a job. You agree on salary and whatever the case may be. The very first day, the person will sit there and think, the other one's desk is nicer than mine. You're already thinking of shit, eh? Sorry for my language. It's absolutely amazing. Or they will already think of, when can I take leave? Or a salary increase. I'm like, it's amazing. At the end of the day, the employer is the victim here. Like in your case now, there's politics between each other.
Come to think of it, actually, I've worked a lot of industries in my life, eh?
You know it all.
Because I remember when I was still in logistics, I will employ a driver today, test everything, criminal check, medicals and everything. Now, when he's supposed to get into a truck, it's like, yeah, but I have to go to KZN for 2 days. Can you excuse me? So, yeah, well, it's amazing. But now another one is that of a driver. He parked somewhere in a yard. He asked for permission on the WhatsApp group. Can I go and buy food? They authorized him, go and buy food. Guess where he went? To a nightclub.
No, but you went to buy food, man.
He went to a nightclub. When the control room sees that this guy has been there for like more than 3 hours, you can't buy food.
But didn't he tell the controller that didn't he report to the controller, I'm now going to the nightclub?
No, he said he's going to buy food.
Okay.
When they check the tracking system, he's in a nightclub. They send the backup team, because it's not safe. They send the tactical team to go and check if the truck is safe and everything. When they got there, he walks out of the club, he's sloshed. He can't even walk. He's intoxicated. So these are kind of things that I dealt with this week. Let's hear what's your story.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm currently busy with a case. It's a bit of an emotional case because this company, quite a large company, they are restructuring. In a way, it's a small restructuring. It only impacts 2 positions in a department, but it's quite a big thing. This company is a global company, and they're now merging the Africa market into the South African operations. And now obviously they need a higher level person to manage this. So ultimately it seems that it's going to lead to one position made redundant, and the person in that position now, there's a possibility of losing her job. So we had they've been having a Section 189 consultation process for some time now. So we had one yesterday. So the first time I got involved, and what's quite emotional is because on the one hand I can appreciate what a massive shock this must be to hear that you're not successful in your application for this senior position, and now suddenly there's a possibility of losing a job, and the company is proposing a voluntary severance package. Look, it's quite a handsome package, make no mistake. They exceeding the minimum requirements of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. But what was emotional is that, and I do understand it still, the employee couldn't deal with the context. Out of the blocks, I'm going to go to the CCMA. I'm going to go to the courts. I'm going to sue you guys. And the more you try to calm it down and just let's say, listen, then nothing is cast in stone yet. As an alternative to a dismissal in terms of Section 189, we're proposing a voluntary severance package. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. If you don't want it, let's continue with the discussions and the consultations. But it was just a bit emotional because, on one hand you feel sorry for the person. I mean, it must be quite an experience to walk into this.
This is the first time I'm seeing you using emotions.
Look, I don't show it, but at the end of the day, you sit and you think about these things. We're still talking about humans. We work with humans. But anyway, enough about me. You have a story to tell. In case you want to talk about, and Tepa, I think this is important because a lot of employers are like shotguns.
Yeah.
They're also emotional. So a lot of employers are hiding behind their policies. They say, oh, but the policy says this is a dismissible offense, that's it. But they forget there are few elements to substantive fairness. Yeah, is there a rule in place? So the policy is one element to it. But you also have to take the totality of circumstances into consideration. When it comes to, regardless of the policy, is the dismissal as a sanction not perhaps too harsh, in spite of the existence of a policy that justifies a dismissal?
Actually, a few years ago, my first case that I lost in the CCMA.
Hey, we shouldn't say that here. You see, our logos is here. We don't lose cases. No, we do, obviously.
It was because of that policy versus the harshness of the outcome. This lady, the child was sick. Yes, she was on a final written warning. But apparently a stick got broken in the child's ear, something. Took the child to the doctor. But
I remember that
she did not report and stuff. But now, because of the policy and progressive discipline and everything, I gathered everything, then I'm like, dismiss her. But I went to the CCMA and the commissioner looked at me and said, this guy is harsh. He even put it in his... That's inhumane.
Didn't he use the word monster?
Yes, something like that.
He didn't use the nice word inhumane.
Something like that. So now that for me was an eye opener. That is why in this age and time now I'm thinking, I know retail comes with a lot of pressure. It's a fast-paced moving industry. Sometimes it's busy, and then there's a lot of stuff changing almost every day in the retail sector. But I still think that the shotgun thing mustn't be used everywhere. There is somewhere where it has to be used, but not everywhere.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, a commissioner has wide discretionary powers how to deal with the case. And what employers don't always understand is that dispute resolution, especially when it comes to dismissal, it's not about correctness. It's about reasonableness. And you'll find many review applications, the Labour Court, the court will throw it out because even though people may not necessarily agree with the finding of a commissioner, if it is regarded as a decision that a reasonable decision maker can arrive at, then it's fine. Now in that case, I remember that case, Tepa. Now in that case, this person, it was in the cinema industry, isn't that right?
The 31st of December, yes.
Yeah, now remember, the 31st of December is the day before New Year.
Yes.
It's probably, now, look, I've worked in the cinema industry for 14 years. I was a branch manager all over the country. And you also worked for the cinema industry for a few years. And you were also in management, okay? So, the 31st of December is probably the busiest day of the year. If your staff don't pitch for work, you literally want to murder them.
Yes.
You shouldn't, but you want to. On the 31st of December, this person didn't report for duty and didn't phone
nothing.
So I believe she got a final written warning valid for 12 months.
Yes.
Exactly a year later, the same thing happened. Now, obviously you think, this person is at the beach, man, or party or something. Same thing. So he put in a hearing and dismissed her, and wragtig the commission say we monsters.
Yes. So now currently, I'm thinking policy versus the harshness of the outcome. Now, talking about retail, cinema and those outlets, you'll find that there's a new cashier. She's been there for a month. 2 weeks is for training. Remember, this person comes from wherever. Comes in, get the job, qualifies. She gets trained for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you leave her alone to deal with cash. Sometimes the cash is a lot to handle. And the poor person will tell you that, honestly, I don't remember what really happened in order for me to. So it was not deliberate.
So there was not dishonesty.
There was not dishonesty.
It was just negligence or
Negligence,
whatever,
but not gross negligence whereby she intentionally made the mistake. But you'll find that the company police say if you are short with more than 71 rand on the first offense, it's a dismissal. So what would the commissioner say when you get to the CCMA with that case?
The policy is one thing, Tsepo, but it's always difficult to convince a commissioner that on the first offense, regardless of the policy, whether dismissals are perhaps too harsh. I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, often you actually do win cases like that, but still it's a massive challenge to go there and say, listen, this person is new, they've just come fresh out of training, now the policy kick in. 71 rand short, sorry, you're fired. Yeah, it's a challenge, eh? It's like this monster one of the cinema.
Yes.
The commissioner also look at the policy. Yeah, I understand the policy, but if you look at the totality of circumstances, apparently the child had a stick or something in the ear or whatever,
Now, the sad part about this is that the case can still drag at the CCMA. You can apply for objection, those processes and everything. Then 4 months down the line, the person wins the case and they say, you must compensate them for all those months. Now,
or the better one, reinstate them and back pay.
And back pay. You understand? Of which, if you could only give that person a final written warning, maybe if there's a policy of deduction, then deduct the money, let the person work. She made a mistake. Now you know that this person is currently sitting on a warning to the similar misconduct. Now it's easy to dismiss.
I've never had in my 14 years in cinema where if a person is short at the end of the night, they won't sign for a shortage. They agree.
They do agree. But now you look at this situation and then you dismiss. Yes, the policy says you dismiss. Walk into the CCMA, the commissioner, during conciliation, they will say, you walk out, you come in, you sit with me. Taps.
If the commissioner sends the employee out first, I start stressing. Then I know
you know the drill, boss. You go out.
If the employee or the union must go, then I know I'm in trouble.
Can I talk to this man? Taps. Your name Tabo, right? Yes. Couldn't you do better, man? Can't you just take the poor lady, work, and then give her another chance? Come on, think.
And then you phone the employer, they say no.
No. But 4 months down the line, this is 23,000, what do you call it? Judgment, compensation, and then back pay, and then you must take the person back to work. So let's sometimes rather not run with the police. I'm not saying running with the police is wrong. The police is there in order to guide, but also let's rehabilitate.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that we're not saying you must go against the policy. There are different horses for different causes. Some industries, like retail for instance, you work with a lot of money, and you know what, in one of our previous podcasts, we did deal with this honestly. Staff steal a lot. They really do. So in a retail environment especially, you need to be very tight. But there's still this truth that you have to apply your mind to the totality of the circumstances. And yes, there is the policy, but you also have to apply your mind to the harshness of the sanction. And in a way, I always try to say it's better if you can just go one step backwards. And well, you mentioned now coaching. You can just imagine a cashier now suddenly will have to work with all these thousands of rands. It's quite intimidating, So yeah, it's quite challenging, and sometimes the employee just needs some coaching to get some confidence going. But before you fire somebody, just maybe go on that warning. So what do you do with the managers now? Do you say to them, listen, sorry, we're not going to dismiss? Or what happens if you say in a hearing, we're not going to dismiss?
The storm is coming, eh?
The storm is coming.
I always get the storm coming. I think in a few weeks' time, we're gonna have an arbitration for one of our clients somewhere, staying in the retail industry, because my outcome of the hearing was final written warning, but the employer didn't like that.
This is where we cut. This is where we cut. I wonder if other people deal with things like this, where we say no, final warning, and the employer fired anyway. I'm telling you, you go to the commissioner. No, you know, actually, that's where you do all your tricks, you know, all the objections, getting sick.
But still, the day will come where you have to sit in. And
you can't avoid it. Ultimately, you will sit in front of that commissioner.
And sometimes, you know, when we get to the CCMA, what you say stays in the commissioner's head, and then sometimes it will go your way. But in a case like this, you also in your heart knows that dismissing that person was wrong. Dismissing that person was, maybe we were supposed to opt for.
Commissioners do have compassion. If it's like a 50-50 case now, hey, the commissioner's hard.
What is that case law that talks about? Sometimes you have to consider pre-dismissal.
Progressive discipline, yeah.
Progressive discipline. You understand?
Yeah, it's in the Code of Good Practice of the Labour Relations Act. You know, an employer should preferably follow a series of warnings or so to correct somebody's conduct.
Because a workplace is built out of trust. Surely you cannot say, I don't trust you. I've been there for 2 weeks. You haven't got enough time to build that trust relationship.
Hey, guess a bit now. Hey, you're opening the door here now. An accountant.
And now, you're talking about something different.
No, accountant. No, Chaile, listen, accountant now. Coming to trust now again. Accountant they will realize that over many years this person's been laundering money and stole from the employer. Okay, but now obviously now the financial year end is maybe around the corner, maybe 2 months away. They will let that person continue working. The first day after financial year end, now it's a hearing, we don't trust you. But they've trusted the person for 3 months.
Of gathering all the finances and then closing.
To make sure all the books are closed for the year. To make sure they serve the purpose of the employer. The very next day, we don't trust you. You've just stolen R1 million, but we don't trust you. But we just trust you for the last 3 months now. Employers can change their policies, you know that.
I know, but what I'm thinking is that really we have to still consider progressive discipline, coaching, rehabilitating, because it's not everyone who is in a disciplinary hearing did something intentionally. Some of them it's an honest mistake.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Understand?
Yeah.
We gather all the evidence because we always advise our people to gather all the evidence. Camera footages. You see, there's nothing suspicious whenever she's conducting all the transactions, completing all the transactions. It was surely an honest mistake. But yeah, the moral of the story is that when policy versus the harshness of the outcome of the hearing, maybe we should consider progressive discipline.
Absolutely. So tell me next week what you're up to.
I think I'm flying out of the province.
Oh, you're going to the Eastern Cape?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got, this whole series, you're going to sleep there for like a whole week. You've got like 5 cases in the Eastern Cape that you have to deal with.
I'm going to the Eastern Cape, so this month,
But anyway, but that's all for Chaile Time this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. See you next week.